This video is created by Jagrat Creation. It is on accounting for branches. I want to take care of one sum, that's a dependent branch debtor system of accounting. Dependent branch debtor system of accounting that I want to take care of. Just observe the sum on the screen. This is the sum which I intend to solve. Creamy Traders Limited invoice goods to their various branches at cost, and the branches sales on credit as well as on for cash. From the following details relating to the Surat branch, show the Surat branch account, branch debtors account, branch trading and profit and loss account in the books of head office. 1st of April 2016 opening balance, closing balance, debtors and stock is given to you. During the year, goods received from HO, goods returned to HO, total sales, allowances to debtors, return from debtors, that is sales return, discount allowed to debtors, bad debt, cash received from debtors, rent rates, wages, general trade charges. These are the expenses incurred at the branch. Solve the sum presuming that the branch expenses are paid by HO. So this sum I am going to solve under two options. So first option, all these expenses, rent, rates, wages and general trade charges are paid by head office directly. With that presumption, I'll solve the sum. Then once again I will solve the sum here before you. But what is the change in that sum? Branch expenses are paid by branch from cash sales and credit sales proceeds. Now branch has sold goods for cash. Branch has sold goods on credit and cash is collected from the debtors. From this cash received by the branch, these are the expenses paid by the branch itself, and the balance cash is remitted to HO. With that presumption, I will solve this sum once again. After this lecture is over, I am going to solve the same sum with third option, wherein cash is sent to the branch for specific purpose, and out of that cash sent for expenses are paid by the branch. That I am going to consider in my next lecture. Now here I am required to prepare branch account. So whenever the branch account is required to be prepared, it is a dependent branch, one, and debtor system is to be followed. In debtor system, for the purpose of finding out the profit, branch account is prepared. In the branch account, at the beginning of the year, assets and liabilities are given. During the year, value is given to the branch. During the year, value received from the branch in form of cash or goods returned, etc. At the end of the year, assets and liabilities of the branch are taken by head office, because branch do not have separate legal existence other than HO. So all the assets and liabilities of the branch are to be absorbed by head office at the end of the year. And same way, or such assets and liabilities which has been absorbed are given to the branch at the beginning of the year. So last year, whatever the debtors and stock were absorbed by the head office, that were the closing balance of branch as for the year ended on 31st of March 2016, all those assets absorbed by head office is given to the branch at the beginning of the year. So this is how I am going to prepare branch account. So let me start preparing branch account. I am going to prepare a working note wherein debtors account is going to be prepared. Let me start. So I am solving the sum. Branch expenses are paid by head office directly. Under that presumption, for that alternative, I am solving this sum. So here I prepare branch account. In working note, I prepare debtors account. Now at the beginning of the year, the accounting entity known as branch is created. How the economic entity gets created? For the purpose of creating an economic entity, assets and liabilities, assets are to be given, value is to be given. If the entity holds the monetary value, then and then it is known as economic entity. So branch is created at the beginning of every year. And how the branch is created? By giving assets. Which two assets are given? Debtors and stock are the two assets given to this branch at the beginning of the year. Branch is the receiver, branch account debit to debtors account, branch account debit to stock account. That is a normal entry. But we write in a manner on the debit side of branch account debit to debtors account. Here this is a working note in which debtors, say debtors account is prepared to find out the missing number. Which are the missing number that we can find out by preparing debtors account? Either opening balance of debtors is missing, or closing balance of debtors is missing, or credit sales details are missing, or cash receipt from the debtors are missing. Out of these four, any one is found to be missing in practically all the sums. So we prepare debtors account by default in working note. So opening balance of debtors is recorded in the working note. But for this, the journal entry is branch account debit to debtors account credit at the beginning of the year. Similarly, branch account, this is the closing balance of debtors. At the end of the year, all the assets and liabilities are taken by the head office. So this is the closing balance of debtors. At the end of the year, whatever the debtors are there with the branch, they are taken up by the head office. So entry for that is reversed to this entry. This entry shows what? Branch account debit to debtors account, debtors given to the branch at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, debtors balance is taken away by the head office from branch. So the entry for that, debtors account debit to branch account credit. This is a reverse entry that is passed at the end of the year. And this entry is reversed to this entry. What is the entry when the debtors are given? Branch to debtors. What is the entry when the debtors are taken away from the branch at the end of the year? Because branch do not have any separate legal existence. So debtors account debit to branch account credit. Similarly, closing balance of debtors is recorded in this debtors account. Now same way, stock given to the branch at the beginning of the year, branch account debit to stock account, and stock is taken from the branch at the end of the year. So reverse entry is to be recorded. Stock is taken from the branch. Stock is received. Debit what comes in stock account debit. Branch is the giver. Credit the giver. So branch account is to be credited for this stock at the end of the year. So this is how assets are given to the branch at the beginning of the year. Assets are taken away from the branch at the end of the year. And whatever the transaction occurs with branch during the year, they are bifurcated into two parts. One type of transaction wherein value is given to the branch. Second type of transaction wherein value is received from the branch. When the value is given to the branch account is to be debited. When the value is received from branch account is to be credited. And in this system, the profit is found out by just capital comparison method as I have explained to you in my theory lecture, which is already there on the YouTube. So here, only the transactions with the branch are going to be recorded. Transaction of branch with the rest of the world, transaction of the branch with debtors, transaction of the branch with the creditors are not going to be recorded in this branch account. That's an important point that I wish to bring to your notice. Now these are the transactions during the year. Goods received from HO. So this account is prepared in the books of HO. Remember, branch account is prepared in the books of HO. Goods received from HO means goods sent to the branch. Branch is the receiver. Debit the receiver. Branch account debit to goods sent to branch account credit. So here the branch account is debited. Goods returned to head office. So goods given to the branch account debit. What is the entry? Branch account debit to goods sent to branch account. When the goods come back, the goods which are not sellable, HO gets those goods back. At that time, we should write the entry just opposite to this entry. What is the opposite to entry? Opposite to this entry, goods sent to branch account debit to branch account credit. So here goods sent to branch account debit to branch account credit. So these are the goods returned. So goods sent minus goods returned. So net amount will appear in goods sent to branch account, and this goods sent to branch account is transferred to the trading account in the books of HO at the end of the year. Now total sales. Now goods are sold by branch to the customer. It is a transaction between branch and customer. Total sales is not a transaction between HO and branch. So I am not going to record total sales in this branch account that I have prepared here before you. Now, allowances to the debtors. We granted concession to the debtors when we went for collection. It is a transaction between branch and debtors. Head office is not a party to this transaction. So allowance is given to the debtors is not to be recorded in this branch account, but I record that in working note because to that extent, amount received from the debtors is less against the credit sales. So allowances are to be recorded in this working note. This is a working note. It is not a part of double entry bookkeeping. Notice it. This is a working note. Return from debtors, sales return. When the goods are sold to debtors, debtors account debit to credit sale. When the sales return reverse entry, here the debtors account is to be credited for sales return. This is also a transaction between branch and the customer. It is not a transaction between branch and head office. So this transaction also will not be recorded in this branch account. Similarly, bad debt, discount allowed to debtors. It is a transaction between branch and customer, not a transaction between branch and HO. So this discount allowed will not be recorded in this branch account. It is recorded in a working note that is known as debtors account. Then comes bad debt. This is a loss sustained by the branch while collecting money from the customer. It is a loss caused or a discount allowed to customer against the desire is known as bad debts. So to that extent, the balance of debtors declines. It is a transaction between branch and debtors. It will be recorded in this working note. It is not going to be recorded in this branch account. Then cash received from debtors. Now whatever the cash is received by the branch, cash received from debtors cannot be recorded in this branch account. But whatever the cash is received by branch from customer, that cash is required to be remitted by branch to HO. So what is this transaction? Cash received from customer is remitted by branch to HO. So remittance to the HO is a transaction between branch and HO. So it will be recorded cash account debit to branch account credit. So cash account debit, collection from debtors is remitted to HO. So HO says that I have received this much cash from the branch, cash account debit to branch account credit. But just in the narration point of view, this is the collection from debtors that has been remitted. And collection from debtors also will appear in this debtors account because to that extent the credit sales are recovered. Now after that all the expenses are there. The branch expenses are paid by head office, so rent, rates, wages and this trade charges are paid by HO. HO pays, cash goes out, cash account is to be credited. And all these expenses, the value paid for the expenses, the value received against the expenses and the payment made there against is for the branch. Branch is the receiver, debit the receiver. So branch account debit to cash account, branch account debit to cash account, branch account debit to cash account. So these are the expenses paid by HO for branch. Branch is the receiver of the value. So branch account debit to cash account, that is the entry. So this is how the entry is recorded when the branch expenses are paid by HO. That's an important understanding that I wanted to bring to your notice. I'm going to solve this same sum wherein these expenses, in this case it is paid by head office. The same expenses in the next option are not going to be paid by head office. It will be paid by branch itself. Then how the accounting is to be made, that I will bring to your notice after a couple of minutes. But at present, the branch expenses are paid by HO. So the journal entry is branch account debit to cash account. Now this is the debtors account, total of credit minus total of debit. You know the difference is known as credit sales. So here I got the details of credit sale. Why I have found out the details of credit sale? Because I am required to prepare trading and profit and loss account. But I'll prepare trading and profit and loss account after I prepare complete this branch account and find out the profit. Now let me close this branch account. But these are the credit sales. Here I am given total sales. Total sales minus credit sales will be cash sales. And whatever the goods sold by branch for cash, that cash is remitted by branch to HO. So I want to find out the remittance of cash by branch to HO at the instance that which has occurred because of cash sales. So total sales minus credit sales, so I got the cash sales. This cash sales proceeds received by the branch from customer. It is a transaction between branch and customer, not to be recorded in the books of in the branch account prepared in the books of HO, but the same cash is remitted to the AHO. That's why it is credited in this branch account. So cash account debit to branch account credit, remittance of cash sales. So this is the total cash received by HO from branch. These are the cash sales proceeds. These are the collection from debtors. Total cash received by the branch remitted to HO. HO is branch is the giver. Credit the giver. Branch account is to be credited for that. Now after recording all these things, let me find out the profit of branch account. So total of credit minus total of debit. So the net profit is 87,900. So this is how profit is found out by preparing branch account. Now the question arises, if we try to find out the net profit by preparing trading and profit and loss account, are we going to get the same net profit? The answer to the question is that yes, you will get the same net profit, but I want to demonstrate how to prepare trading and profit and loss account from this information. Just observe my style of preparing trading and profit and loss account from this information. Here I prepare trading and profit and loss account. Now see, profit is found out by difference between credit and debit. So total of credit minus total of debit, we generally get the profit. Now see, here the opening balance of debtors is given. Do we write opening balance of debtors in trading and profit and loss account? No, we don't write. So this debtors balance is not recorded in trading account, and in this opening balance is also not to be recorded in this trading account. This won't appear. I'm just showing you the how I prepare trading and profit and loss account from this information, and how my profit, that is 87,900, agree even by preparing trading and profit and loss account. I want to demonstrate that. So whatever the cancellation that I make just for the purpose of explanation, that will be removed, and you will find the same branch account and debtors at the end when I conclude the sum. So this is removed. Stock, opening stock, that appears on the debit side of trading account, opening stock. Now goods sent to the branch is just like purchases for the branch. Purchases are debited to the trading account. So goods sent will be recorded on the debit side of trading account, and sales return will be deducted therefrom. So, I'm sorry, goods sent to the branch is just like purchases for the branch, and goods return by branch to HO is just like purchase return. So purchase return are to be deducted from purchases. Same way, goods sent to the branch is recorded on the debit side of trading account, and goods returned by branch is to be deducted therefrom. That I'm going to do. Now, expenses paid, rent. This is an expense paid by the head office for the branch. Expenses are debited to profit and loss account. So rent is debited to profit and loss account. Wages are debited to trading account. General trade charges are debited to profit and loss account. Now, goods return are deducted from goods sent. So this is the net amount of goods available to the branch for selling. This is cash sales. Cash received from debtors cannot be recorded here, so it will be cancelled here, and here also it will be cancelled. Both are removed. Notice it. Closing stock, trading account credit side. Closing balance of debtors cannot be recorded in this trading and profit and loss account, so let me remove it. So now this is left. Credit sales will be recorded on the trading account credit side. Allowances debited to profit and loss account. Sales return deducted from sales. Bad debts debited to profit and loss account. Discount allowed debited to profit and loss account. Now this is the gross profit that I found out. Gross profit is transferred to the credit side of profit and loss account. Net profit is found out. Net profit is same as the profit that we have found by preparing branch account and this working note debtors account. So we can find out the profit by preparing branch account. And the philosophy with the branch account is prepaid is by capital comparison method, wherein closing capital plus drawings minus opening capital and additional capital, we get the profit. Same principle is followed over here in preparing branch account, which I have explained to you in the theory discussion of debtor system that I have already uploaded in the previous video uploaded on YouTube. Now the profit is same. Now I have completed this sum under one option when the branch expenses are paid by head office. Now I want to consider the. Now I wish to solve the same sum by second option. Branch expenses are paid by branch from cash sales and credit sales proceeds. So same sum, how it gets solved under second option, just observe. Here I am preparing branch account. Here the working note debtors account that is to be prepared as I have done before. One more account is required to be prepared, that is known as cash account. In this cash account on the receipt side, cash sales proceeds and collection from debtors will be recorded and payment of expenses will be recorded on the payment side. Balance of cash will be found out and that will be remitted to HO, and that remittance will be recorded on the credit side of branch account. That is the peculiarity under this option. Now let me start. Debtors opening balance at the beginning of the year, debtors asset given to the branch account debit to debtors account credit. At the end of the year, the reverse entry gets recorded when the debtors are taken back. Debtors balance is absorbed in the books of HO. So debtors account debit to branch account credit. The same debtors opening balance will be recorded in debtors account as working note, and closing balance will be recorded in this working note on the credit side of debtors account. So debtors closing balance, debtors account debit to branch account credit, and the same closing balance will appear here in debtors account. Now at the beginning of their stock is given to the branch account debit to stock account. At the end of the year, the stock is absorbed in the books of HO, stock account debit to branch account credit. This is how asset given to the branch at the beginning of the year are debited to branch account, branch is the receiver, and asset taken away from the branch at the end of the year, branch is the giver, so it is recorded in the credit side. Now let me take care of transactions during the year. Goods received from HO means goods sent to branch account debit to goods sent to branch account credit. Goods returned to head office. So when the goods were sent, what is the entry? Branch account debit to goods sent to branch account. When the return of goods occurs, means branch sent goods to HO, which are not saleable. In that situation, I am going to write a reverse entry, goods sent to branch account debit to branch account credit, because branch is the giver. Total sales cannot be recorded here anywhere. So allowance from debtors. So concession, discount granted to debtors is a transaction between branch and debtors. It is not a transaction between HO and branch. Hence this transaction is not recorded in this branch account. But I record this allowance in debtors account in my working note because I want to find out the credit sales. Once I'll find out the credit sales by preparing debtors account, from total sales, I'll deduct the credit sales, I'll get the cash sales. And that cash sales will be recorded in this cash account. Return from debtors means sales return, recorded in the credit side of debtors account in a working note. Discount allowed is also recorded just opposite to credit sales, because goods are sold on credit. Against that recoverable allowance is granted. Sales return reduces the sales recovery. Discount allowed also reduces the sales recovery. Cash received from bad debts. Bad debt is a loss. The amount could not be recovered from the debtors. It is a discount granted to a debtor against the desire of the seller. So this is a bad debt that reduces the claim. So credited to debtors account, cash received from debtor, cash account debit to debtors account credit. This is a working note. Now the expenses are paid from this cash because branch has paid the expenses. So payments are rent, wages, general trade charges, all the payments are made by the branch itself. So from the cash proceeds from cash received by you of cash sales or cash received from debtors. From that cash balance, these expenses are paid, and the balance cash will be remitted to HO. That is the meaning of this word. So branch expenses are paid by branch from cash sales and credit sales proceeds. Now, let me close this debtors account. I'll find out the credit sales. So 2,58,600 made 78,600. So this is a credit sale. Total sales minus credit sale is equal to cash sales. The cash sales proceeds are recorded on the receipt side of cash book. Now this is the total cash received by the branch. From that, expenses paid are deducted. Balance cash sent to HO. So HO has received this much of cash from the branch. Cash account debit to branch account credit. 2,20,800. This is the remittance that I recorded to the credit side of branch account. Now after preparing all these things, if I try to find out the profit is going to be same as we have calculated before. 87,900 is the profit of branch account. The same profit we have found out in the previous method also. Now on the basis of that, I want to prepare trading and profit and loss account. Once again, opening balance of debtors cannot be recorded in this trading and profit and loss account. So it is removed from this. Just for the explanation, I am doing all these things. Opening stock, trading account debit side. Goods sent is like purchases, so trading account debit side. Goods returned are deducted from goods sent. So these are the net goods sent for sales to the branch. This cash remittance is a part of this cash book, cannot be recorded in this trading and profit and loss account. Closing stock will appear on the credit side of trading account. Closing balance of debtors cannot be recorded in trading and profit and loss account, so removed. Now here, credit sales, trading account credit side. Allowances debited to profit and loss account. Sales return deducted from sales. Bad debts debited to profit and loss account. Discount allowed debited to profit and loss account. Cash received is recorded here, cannot appear in trading and profit and loss account. This cash sales, trading account credit side. Rent expense debited to profit and loss account. Wage is debited to trading account. General charges debited to profit and loss account. Now find the gross profit, total of credit minus total of debit. There is a gross profit. This gross profit is transferred to the credit side of profit and loss account. From that, all the expenses will be deducted. You will get a net profit. The net profit worked out to be 87,900, same as we have found out by preparing branch account. So look at the profit is same. So even if you find the profit by preparing branch account, or even if you find the profit by preparing trading and profit and loss account, profit is going to be same. That student should carefully understand. So this is how the entire sum is solved by two different options. First option was taken care of, wherein all the expenses of branch were paid directly by HO. And when it was paid by HO, branch account was debited. But when the expenses are paid by the branch out of the proceeds, then separate working note cash account is to be prepared to find out the remittance made by branch to HO. This is how the difference in presenting the sum is being explained to you by taking two options at a time in one sum. Now there is third option about cash sale, about this expenses incurred at branch. In the third option, the cash is sent for specific expense. Out of that cash sent, expenses are paid. The expenses paid will be more than the cash sent or maybe less than even cash sent. In that situation, how to account or how to prepare branch account, debtors account, etc., that I am going to consider in my next lecture, taking the same illustration once again here before you. So this is how these two lectures, one lecture and the next lecture. In these two lectures, I wanted to make clear the accounting of the expenses incurred at the branch. First option, paid by HO. Second option, paid by branch out of the cash sales proceeds or out of the proceeds from debtors. And third option, the cash specifically sent to the branch for expenses and the expenses are met therefrom. That third option I am going to consider in my next lecture. So this is how I have tried to explain the debtors method. I feel that you have followed all these things. Thanks to all of you.